All right. Good morning. I hope you had a great weekend, that you enjoyed a bit of the outside, good time with family. Uh, I think we'll need that recharge this week. Looks a bit bumpy to start the week, but overall, not sure it's a bad thing. Not sure it's going to be as bad as it seems, but obviously we'll see during the open sessions, right? Um, I shared basically my thought last night in the Prime report, right? So if we look at the futures, first thing first, we had that big, massive reclaim last Wednesday on that P stock news. Um, and it was extended. We were extended from mainly the 21 DMA structure. We discussed almost all of the end of the week that we had a couple scenario, right? So we used the cues to illustrate that point. But basically, we had a couple scenario to look for. One of the scenario was to see a cool off, a shakeout, um, of the rising structure, of the rising 21 DME structure, and we were still in that chop base, chop zone, however you want to call it, and a retest of that low of the base area would have been possible around 594. That would have been against the rising structure as well. That would have been already pretty constructive action. But now we had some news yesterday about talks not failing because we still have the ceasefire. Uh, and listen, I don't want to be a war expert. Looks like there's a bunch of new war experts, negotiation expert on my feed all of a sudden, and I don't want to be one, right? I want to focus on what I can control. It means price action mainly, breadth internals, and the liquid leaders. Then I'm following my position. My positions today will tell if this is a trend breaker type of news or this is absorbed, right? And when I say this is absorbed, this is the kind of action that we saw prior to that initial reclaim that we want to see, right? I don't know if you remember, but early last week, and even uh, the last part of the one before, we had those red opens, right? As we first made that low, there was that news. Every liquid leaders were bought aggressively at the open. Then we came right to retest the declining 21 DMA structure. What happened on the rejection of that structure? Then again, red open, clear leadership, and the leaders were bought aggressively. And the same thing happened on that Tuesday to another rejection. The leaders were bought aggressively again at the open to form a higher low before that reclaim and big gap. All right. So if we can open only 0.4% as we were down 1.6 last night at the futures open, that's a big win. And we're still holding that gap range. And if we look at the futures, we already reclaimed that gap close and we retested the Friday's low pivot. So we're right into the gap fill and that news close pivot. So we're right in supply. Uh, I think that the side we will flip from here will give a lot of information, right? So if we're coming and we're seeing the liquid leaders being bought again, we see the Nasdaq reclaiming that Friday's low and pushing to a new high from here. God, that's super bullish. And we had another quick shakeout that was bought aggressively, just showing the interest from the buyers to buy that market, despite the news and the fuckery in the news that you might see. The market will see through this. The market will buy the market before everything is clear. So that's why fixing yourself on the price action first, and not trying to become a war negotiation expert and trying to guess what will happen on that news front will keep you on the right side of the market, and probably keep you invested and profiting for from this market if it's grinding up, even if the picture is not clear, even if there's fear in the market. If we wait probably that everything is clear, that everything is setting up perfectly, you will probably miss a lot of that move. Just like last April, by the way. Um, so that's price action for Nasdaq. Small caps as well. Look where the small caps found support. Guys, we cannot make this up. We retested that 21 DME structure, that base area, and boom, we're back at Friday's low. So far, I think that's a pretty nice shakeout. The cool off and the pullback that we wanted to digest that gap. And if we hold that back test, it's setting up as a textbook reclaim and backtest setup. So you can get better than this, but obviously you have the news and you get a lot of fear. But again, you have to see past that. Same thing for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is right back into the rising 21 DME structure. We're holding that kind of range low as well. So that will give a lot of information today how it reacts to that structure back tests. Credit spreads, they were up, sniffing up a bit. I think what happened over the weekend with that Friday's kind of divergence. Um, but right now we're gapping down. So let's see how the session goes on the credit spreads front. But so far, that's kind of the country trend rally, the cool off that we were discussing. And as long as we hold that structure, that we hold that swing low, and we remain in that downtrend structure, I think we're all good market wise. And VIX gap up, we're still below that declining 21 day structure. So VIX is under control. We're still inside that range of the gap up. So all good on that front as well. So from what I see, price action wise, internals wise, there's nothing too much to worry about. Obviously, anything can happen during the open session, but nothing leads me to believe that uh, that's a situation to manage risk aggressively at the open. So far, it looks pretty tame and action in line with what we expected to happen. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now. Let's flip to TradersLab now. So it was the same action that we saw in QQQE. So basically, we had that gap, and we were forming that reclaim and backtest setup. So QQQE will open right into the rising 21 DME structure, so right into support. So if it holds, that's a pretty neat long setup, guys. You just have to uh, control that fear, uh, not give weight to all the news fuckery that is going on. That you have to accept the added risk of those headlines, uh, as long as you have the traction, feedback, and cushion to prove it, right? Obviously, that's super important, and I didn't talk about it, but you keep exposure because you have cushion, because it proves that it was working, and if a red open, a shakeout happens like this morning, then you're just uh, taking up a small part of that cushion. So that's why I shared that in my PF update as well yesterday. Is I was near fully exposed over the weekend, but the only reason to do so was because I had almost 8% of uh, PF cushion of unrealized and some realized profits. So that in itself allowed me to be more patient with my exposure, all right? And just after that, seeing what my positions are doing, what the market is doing, what the liquid leaders are doing, uh, to add or trim or reduce exposure along the way, all right? So price QQQE, so the unweighted indices right into support at the open. We have the McClellan oscillator out of overbought, so nice cool off. And the McClellan summation still in an uptrend above a rising 10 DMA, so nothing to worry on that front. We'll see today if we close red with a distribution day, then that's another story. We might have a hook down, and in which case, for me, it will be just to chill, stop to engage, especially if we close back below the 21-day mid structure. All right, watch list. Let's look at the portfolio real quick. So nothing big down pre-market, right? So not the risk positions. TPR not even down 1%, ARM 1%, Kava 1%, and all are still above rising 21-day mid structure. So for me, nothing to worry there. And then all my cores, their risk positions, EBIT is feeling it a bit more, but I still have cushion and it's already trimmed. And the risk Nebius is having a downgrade, but with a raised profit target. So go figure what it means. But that might have affected it a bit more this morning. And yeah, the rest pretty mild reaction. And to be honest, when they are in my cars, you know the drill, you know the system. I trail the 21-day mid structure, and as long as they hold their 21-day mid structure, I'm not looking to exit those trades. So right now it's just being patient, seeing basically if these hold. If the market is not looking good and I want to manage my risk, that's the first position that I will close and the risk that I will cut, right? And these I want to be patient. As long as I protect my break-even point on this market cycle, these I don't want to touch and fuck those trades, right? So looking to be patient with this one. And what are we looking for today? So again, if we have red open, good action in the leaders, everything is looking good from that shakeout and stress test, then I will look to increase my exposure and be a bit more aggressive with basically the perfect long setup that we were looking for since last week. So the names that I will watch, a couple, Planet Labs, already have some exposure in that group. But on weakness into the rising 21-day structure, retesting last week's low as well. Might be a very good spot to initiate that. Micron, I would like to get some memory group exposure. So if that open week, retest the 21-day structure, retest that gap low pivot, that would be a spot that I will look to engage. APLD, that will really be on strength, this one. I would like to see a Thursday's high pivot reclaim. That's the reversal pivot. And if we reclaim that on strength, then I might put a small pilot there. Dell, kind of double top. That has been a leader. So I will look if we can retest, form a higher low in the 21-day structure. Same thing for ASTS, building that sideway range above the rising 21-day structure. Kava still in play, might gap down, retest that recent swing high pivot, fill that gap, retest the 21-day structure. That's a nice spot to look for a bit outside of tech exposure. If like me, you were pretty much tech exposed, so that might be a good name to get outside the outside tech. And finally, ARM, good action on Friday. That faded. We're still above a rising 21-day structure. We're still building higher lows on the right side. Still building that flag. So it failed to confirm the new swing high, but still acting constructively. And if the market is bought today, then that could look pretty good of the right side as well. All right, so that's a name that I will watch today. I'm not in a hurry at the open, to be honest. I really want to see how my new exposure and my portfolio overall is acting. And probably if I'm adding something, that will probably be midday on some kind of stress test if we have some strength. So stress test, weakness following the strength kind of thing. But yeah, again, I'm not looking to reduce risk at the open unless we really see sellers coming hard and we start to lose structure. In that case, I will do so. But otherwise, looking to be pretty patient today and for the rest of the week if we can hold that back test. All right, so guys, any questions? All I could say to end this session, try to tune out that noise. Focus on price action, focus on the leaders, focus on the internals, on breadth, and they will tell the story. All right. And how the news are being bought as well is good feedback. All right, so let's look at some tickers. AMPX. No, not this one. Yeah, I think Mart shared this. It's not in my universe. I think it's doesn't have the liquidity or something like that. But yeah, it's a nice setup. You have that weekly breakout and backtest of the base area, pull back into the rising 10-week moving average structure, building higher lows of the daily right into the 21-day structure. So yeah, that's a nice setup. Yeah, there's strong stuff like CRWV. Strong EP that might look good for a follow through. Man, that weekly is looking. Look at that long term VCP. You have that first leg down, rally, second leg down, rally, third leg down, and look how each leg down is less and less. There's clearly that VCP going on. So that could be really juicy. So for me, daily is extended. I'm not playing kind of those um, super extended names. Right now it's 2.5 times ATR from the 21 EMA. So for me, it's too extended. But with those kind of names, it's gaining relative strength super fast. It will make the cut in my scan, and once it's pulled back to the 21 DMA structure, then that's where I'm stalking for an entry in those kind of new leaders. ALAB, yeah, I saw ALAB. It showed really good relative strength, and a bit of the same thing. Now for me, 2.3 times 3.85 times ATR from the 21 EMA. So obviously it's gone for me for my system, but I want to look for so a bit like here, wait for that back test of the rising 21 EMA structure, and that's where I want to engage, not extend that anymore. All right, guys, last one. I'm pretty boring with the stuff that I trade, right? I know I'm not in all the super shiny stuff. I'm focused on that liquid leader scan. There's 80 name. Uh, that's all I trade. All right, that's my universe. That's the basket of stocks that I'm stocking constantly and looking for entries with my 21 DME structure pullback. All right, that's my game. That's my system. That's everything that I trade. Did well for me to narrow my focus like that. And sometimes there are really, really good setups that you guys share. Uh, but I'm just being ultra disciplined by trading my own setups. Yeah, Dell is in my focus list. That's definitely a name that I'm stalking. Uh, just that there might be more. Let's use Traders View just to. Whoops, sorry. Just want to draw something. So there's a couple scenario here. So we had a big weekly technical breakout. The good thing is it broke out and retested that structure. So kind of confirm the breakout that it was holding. So that good. Now chances are that a daily pullback above that weekly structure should hold. All right, so you can look a bit for narrower pullback on the daily, just because of that fact, right? And it's still pretty early in the trend as well. only been set 7 weeks above the weekly structure, so it's uh, early stage, should we say? So yeah, so we have that breakout, back tests, kind of fail breakout as well. Now setting up kind of a fail breakout and reset, second mouse, get the cheese type of setup. And you can look at that structure is still in play, still building higher lows on the right side. And yeah, that looks constructive. All right, guys. So that's the prep for this morning. Stay optimistic. Stay grounded. Uh, Leave the war noise to either the war experts or the fearful, and focus on price action, your portfolio, your positions, the liquid leaders, and they will tell a story. All right, don't get frozen in that narrative. uh, Focus on what matters. All right, and keep in mind that the market will see through that mess, and will give the real signal. All right, so guys, enjoy your day, enjoy your week. uh, Take care, one step at a time. That was the pullback that we discussed. So if you didn't get the exposure that you wanted last week, uh, that's pretty much the spot that everyone wanted. Now it comes with a news, and everyone will be frozen to act. But if you just look at price action, that's actually the spot and the action that everybody wanted to see. Uh, so again, don't get stuck in that narrative. If you didn't have the exposure, that's kind of the spot. But take it slowly. Test a position on that red open. Suddenly you have a red to green open. You have some oops reversal. You gain traction on your positions. Uh, it's time to increase exposure. That's what I did right here, right here. All right, that's what I did right here. Now, if you get those red to green, that's basically what you wanted to get in order to get invested. So don't get frozen up. Just go in step by step, test the market, test that weakness, and if it works, then you had another layer of exposure. You de-risk that new exposure. You get those 2R trims that prove that you're correct, that your thesis price leaders internal thesis is good. Then you had another name, another good setup, and you follow up like that, position by positions. All right, so I hope it helps, guys. If there's any other questions, you can use the question and answers channels, and I will be present in the swing trading pit anyway along the day. So have a good day, guys. Take care. Cheers.